mafiosa.
Getting rich off of my brain.
I got these haters upset, cause I'm getting money. She wants some sex, cause I'm getting money. It's time to flex, cause I'm getting money.
Yo, what's up, world? It's your boy Ricky Romance, and I was an original member of Immature, the group that breeded B2K. And I am the reason why you guys have B2K today. If I didn't take my brother to my cousin Chris, and he didn't create the group around him, it wouldn't be no B2K. Let's get into it.
And my time is valuable. I really hope that you can.
I am the reason why you guys have B2K. I am the reason why B2K exists. If I didn't take my brother over to my cousin Chris's house and tell my cousin Chris that my brother can sing and that he can dance, the group would have never been formed. I mean, you know, when B2K got their deal, you know, I was in it was like my senior year of high school, like my last year. My brother started living with my cousin Chris. I don't know. Hope I don't piss Chris off, because I'm coming for the CEO position of the company. And I'm gonna run the company the way that it should be ran, the way that it wasn't ran. By respecting artists, making sure they get their advancements, make sure they understand what splits is, make sure they get all their publishing for every song, you know, and just make sure they understand the importance of getting their education, not just going and being famous, which is pretty much what happened to us, you know. So, man, I just want to see everybody come together if possible, but if not, fuck it. It's on sight when I see you. If you got a problem with me, I got a problem with you. But I come in love and I come in peace. And, you know, he was living at the house, ironing Immature's clothes, you know what I'm saying? You know, it got to the point I never seen my brother. He went over there and never came back. I mean, it's crazy. I remember my mom signing custody over to my cousin Chris Stokes. And after that, shit got weird. It was like he wasn't even my brother. But anyway, I'm Ricky Romance, CEO of JMC Management Group. Originally started as JMC Records in 2003 with my partners, Elijah Polk and my brother Raz B. You know, from there, everything just turned into a whirlwind. You know, we started recording, doing our thing, you know what I'm saying? We signed a deal with Shaquille O'Neal, you know what I'm saying? You know, shout out to him and Money Mark, you know what I'm saying? The deal didn't work out, but you know, we could still do the deal. But yeah, man, we did a deal with Deja 34. Deja was Shaq's daughter, 34 is of course his number. They used to do events, you know what I'm saying, after all Shaq's games when he was traveling. And I guess they decided to start a record company, you know? And I remember talking to E40, and E40 hooked me up with Shadow and D. Me and my partner Elijah Polk, we reached out to Shadow and D. You know, once we reached out to Shadow and D, they put us in contact with Alan Grunblatt and Bob Coulson over at Navarre, which was actually becoming Koch. You know, we responsible for, you know, bringing the deal to Deja 34, which then came the Ray J album. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm the reason why y'all got the Ray J album, that One Wish song. You know what I'm saying? One of his biggest records. You know what I mean? That deal went through Deja 34, you know what I mean? And, you know, so I'm really, really proud of that. But, you know, I've done a lot of wonderful things within the industry. I also worked with Orlando Brown, you know what I'm saying? Raven told me not to deal with him, but, you know, I took a chance on him because he's very talented as a musician, you know, and as an artist. And I do understand him, you know what I'm saying? Even through everything that he's been through within these last few years, he's really seemed to turn himself around. I'm Ricky Romance, man. I've been doing this forever, man. I've been managing, I've been on sets. I've been on the sets since the VH1 days, A Real Chance of Love. You know what I'm saying? My boy Real and Chance, you know what I mean? And, you know, after doing, you know, being on the set with them and just kind of seeing how that worked, you know what I mean? It really inspired me. I went to film school at LA City College. You know, they got a you know, a whole cinema program. You know what I mean? I did that and then I dropped out. I was like, I don't need this. You know what I mean? I realized I had the resources and the contacts. It's just amazing, you know what I'm saying, how one decision you make, you know what I'm saying, determines the path, you know what I'm saying, that you're able to live. So But yeah, you know, I've been doing my thing. I'm actually starting a television network. I got a clothing line. You know, I actually help other artists that trying to build their brands. You know what I'm saying? I help them create their own clothing lines. Been doing artist development, you know what I'm saying? We got the studio, you know what I mean? So it's like, even all the way down to acting, you know what I'm saying? I started out with Central Casting back in the day, you know what I mean? I was in Ali, bringing down with Will Smith, bringing down the house with Queen Latifah and Steve Martin. I was on Girlfriends, I did more court. I did a lot of shows, you know what I mean? I did a lot of stuff just to kind of like get my feet wet and kind of figure things out, but nobody gave me no chance. I went in the studio on my own. I started going to Paramount on Santa Monica. I started just paying $150 an hour just to get in the studio. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, you know? But man, you know, B2K, I mean, I remember, you know, I had a Volvo, you know what I'm saying? I used to drive their ass to, you know, vocal lessons. And I never forget, one day we was in the car and me and my brother had an incident, and Omarion jumped in and had my brother's back. And the little nigga act like he was about to squad me. Could you believe that shit? I'm like, you know what I'm saying? The nerve of this little nigga, but I respected the fact that he had my brother's back. You know what I mean? And you know, everything now that's transpired, you know, it really is unfortunate. Because I know in my heart that my brother genuinely loved Omarion. The fans and the people know that as well. Ryan Orion, Omarion's brother, was one of the first artists along with Alicia Bellamy, or she goes by Alicia Bella, or whatever. Y'all probably remember, y'all probably saw her hanging out with the Simmons girls in Hollywood, you know, before they probably got smart enough to realize that, you know, I don't know, that's a whole other story. Orion, we actually, you know, got in the studio and did some, did a really, really dope record that I played for my cousin Chris one time. And I swear to God, it wasn't but a week later, I swear he maybe had a deal with Motown. You know what I mean? For that song that he came out with, Take It Slow, and that was dope. I really thought Orion was a dope artist. I always thought he was dope, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's dope. I didn't discover Orion, but I had a chance to record with him, you know, before he did his thing, you know, with my cousin. And I just feel like my cousin just fucked up everything. I feel like the vision that I had, I feel like Orion would be a big artist right now and not a DJ, you know, behind his brother, you know, because he's really talented as fuck. Growing up with my cousin Chris, man, I was always just excited to be around the lifestyle because, you know, it was very interesting to me. I was like, yeah, I want to be famous because all the benefits you get. You know, knowing what I know now, I'm like, shit, fuck this fame shit. Let me get some money. You know, like, where's the bag at? You feel me? I remember when I first started doing music, I really wanted to be a singer. When I first started doing music, I really wanted to do R&B. You know, that was my passion, that was my inspiration, you know what I'm saying? You know, starting out, you know, being an original member of Immature with my boy Tyrone. Actually, Tyrone and Imani was original members of the group, and I wasn't in the group at the time. Shout out to Tyrone, which is one of my really good friends. We still talk today. Man, so much stuff goes through my mind, you know, really when I think about all this, you know. Man, you know, it really was a blessing, man, to be able to have the opportunity. You know, when we was working with Money Mark and Shaquille O'Neal, me and my partner Elijah, we had a chance to do a record with the late DJ K. Slay. We had a chance to do a record, you know what I mean, produced a record with Jennifer Hudson called Special. You're something special. Very special. I forgot the words or whatever, but I don't know. That was a record that Jennifer Hudson did. I might be able to find that record. But shout out to Jennifer Hudson and Marita Hudson. That was a dope record. I was dealing with Marita, me and my partner Elijah, a lot through the process of getting that record created and producing it and providing the production. Wow, I wish you guys would have had a chance to hear that. What a really cool record. Man, we was lit, man. We had the studio, we had the budget.
What up, bitch, shorty? Hey, little lady. Yeah. What up, bitch, shorty? What's up? Hey, little lady. Shorty. What up, bitch, shorty? Hey, little lady. Hey, little lady. What up, bitch, shorty?
I was always kind of pretty much in these artists' face. Always had artists with me. I put myself on, you know. I signed myself. I signed everybody around me. You know what I mean? I started giving people opportunities that would never have the opportunity. I mean, I still do it today. You know, making and providing opportunities for artists that would never have these chances because these labels are so motherfucking cricket. They don't care if your music is, if you talented. They don't care if you got good music. They only care how much they can fuck you. I think it was like 2010 to 2011. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I hopped on my brother's Twitter on the computer. And I started tweeting Rihanna. I started going hard on her too, you feel me? And then I had the nerve to tag myself. That's how you know it was me. I had the nerve to tag myself because I was trying to hook myself up. Man, Chris Brown got mad as a motherfucker, boy. I tell you, that was the longest damn Twitter beef, boy, in the world, in the history of Twitter beefs. It probably was a couple hours, 2 or 3 hours. So, I don't know. I take responsibility for that shit, you know. I saw reason to tag myself in the midst of it while everybody thought it was my brother. I really wanted Rihanna. But, you know, that was disrespectful, you know what I'm saying, to Chris Brown and everything he had going on and shit. So, you know, I can understand how that nigga got mad and shit. You know. But I don't know. I think actually right there, I think I did get a lot of fame or a lot of clout. And I think that's how it was looked at, like, yo, this nigga did it for the clout. Well, kinda, sorta. I threw my brother under the bus. I knew that he had that blue check on Twitter, so I was like, well, shit, if she see that, she gonna respond to him. And then, you know, cause I've had great success, you know what I'm saying, through women I've met through my brother. I don't know. After all of that, my brother decided to go to China and shit. I don't know, let's see. We got what, BET, 5, Billboard. Let's see, Entertainment Weekly. December 29th, 2010, Chris Brown launched into a profanity-laced Twitter feud for several hours today with the former B2K member, Raz B, in which both Brown and Raz B employed homophobic slurs and taunts. The exchange between Raz B, which this is actually what I tweeted. I'm just sitting here thinking how can niggas like Eric Benet and Chris Brown disrespect women as intelligent as Halle Berry and Rihanna. Then Brown came back and tweeted, "You want attention? Grow up, nigga. Dick in the booty, little boy." That nigga's rich and ruthless. Man, that nigga, man, after those tweets, man, you know, your boy Chris, man, he went in. You know, he went all the way in. But, you know, right after that, things got crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was, you know, my brother was presented with an opportunity to go to China, and he took it. And, you know, I don't know. Maybe he was feeling embarrassed or something. I don't feel like that. I don't know. I mean, that's just some things I've heard, you know, from people, whatever. But I didn't, you know, my brother, he was fine. He was great. He was confident. You know what I mean? He got an opportunity to go to China, perform his music, do his thing, and he took the opportunity. You know, I was so happy for him. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like, all right, you know, we got a game plan. Bro, gonna stack his bread up, come back. You know, we gonna boss up. You know, for the family. A year went by and he said, I'm coming back next year. And then another year went by and he said, I'm coming back next year. Man, he said that shit for like 7 years. You know, I was afraid of him not being relevant. I'm like, bro, you were in China, you know what I'm saying? And you missing out on the whole career that you can have here. There's so much stuff that was going on within all them years he was gone that I was able to do for my own self. And to build, you know what I mean? To build myself as Ricky Romance. You know, and I wish he was there for, you know what I'm saying, for all these, you know, all these times that I was, you know, felt at my highest and all the times when I feel when I was at my lowest. But when he went to China, it was just crazy. Like, we would talk when bro wanted to talk, and then he would just fucking go ghost.
Go
about my brother when he's in China. I couldn't be the big brother that I always was. He took his girlfriend Mika over there. She was a good girl for him. But he was fucking all the other bitches. And she was not having that shit. So they got into an argument, they got into a fight, to my understanding, which is what was told to me. And he got upset. I believe in a club in China where he was breaking up altercation, where he was performing, and he ended up getting hit in the head with a bottle. So I took that and ran with it and created a story with a good friend of mine and said that my brother was in a coma. So I created a story. I was like, you know what? I was like, let's see. I don't want my brother to get no bad press. And it'd be nice if he can get some press. So I was like, well, let me just create a story and say that he went into a coma and get everybody to start praying for him. You know what I mean? I thought that would have been a great way to let everybody know that he's in China. Not just for his safety, because I didn't know where he was at. Because every time my mom always asked for an address, and she'd be like, yo, send me an address, I want to send you a birthday card. Like, he would never get an address. He's just private. You know what I mean? And it just sucked. We always worried about him. So I thought that if I create some awareness, the world and all his fans would know that he's in China. And that's what I did. I created the coma story. Shortly after that, fast forwarding all the way, my brother came back from China. I was in Vegas, where I'm at right now. You know, it's real crazy because when he came back, I was so happy to see him and he was so happy to see me. You know what I mean? But you could tell he wasn't happy. You know, he wasn't happy, you know? And he didn't come back as the way I expected. I literally just came back from Alaska and I needed a spot to stay. And I got a little spot, I rented a spot to stay from some friends, and my bro came there and crashed with me. I mean, when he came back from China, he was staying at mom's house, you know, driving mom's car, you know. He sure came back with the ability with what he called printing money, because he was printing money like a motherfucker, literally out of thin air. You know what I mean? You know, he had deals left and right. People were sending money here, there, here, there, here, there. I think I remember his Cash App or something like that, one of his accounts like that. But he was sending so much money to my account. It was crazy. But, you know, when he came back, you know, it wasn't like what I expected. But it don't matter. I was just happy to see my brother. You know what I mean? Whether he came back with a whole bunch of money or whether he came back with nothing at all. You know what I mean? And, you know, I really enjoyed the time that we spent, but it didn't last that long because, you know, while he was on the grind, I knew that I needed to get on my grind, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if I'm on my grind and I'm making sure he's shining, he gonna make sure that I'm shining, you know what I mean? Like, we look out for each other, you know, like brothers. But, I don't know. It's crazy. I went to Alaska. I came back, and that's when I got the announcement that, hey, bro. I'm like, what? He's like, we're going on tour. I'm like, for real? I'm like, who? He's like, all 4 of the boys. He's like, we're about to make an announcement. All 4 of us in about 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, snap. I couldn't believe it. He finally got his dream answered. What he been crying and hoping and begging for and wanting ever since the group broke up. He just wanted to bring the group back together because he felt that the fans, that they had something special, and he wanted to bring it back for the fans, not just for the fans, for the people. Man, you know, me and my mom, we got a really, really great relationship. Like I never like I never imagined, and I finally feel like we're finally getting to the point of understanding each other. You know, I mean, I was really hard to deal with. You know what I mean? But you know, you think about everything I had to deal with. You know what I mean? You know, it's easy to understand why, you know, I could be considered as being difficult. So my mom, so I'm the firstborn. Then it's Raz, then it's my sister Storm. And, you know, I've always been protective over my brother. My sister, I didn't really get a chance to really grow up around her because her crazy ass, gangster ass daddy. Shout out Steve, man. Even though we're all like kind of like separated and we all live our own lives and we don't spend holidays and stuff like that together, like I can't remember the last time that we were all together, you know what I mean? But I know we all love each other, and you know, because of all of our individual character defects, you know, that makes us, I guess, as people, push our family members away sometimes. But life is so short, you know. Get mad, then turn around and get glad. Get over it. You know what I mean? Because, you know, family is really important. And, you know what I'm saying, with everything that's going on within the government, the COVID stuff that happened the last few years and everything, like, y'all, we got to stick together. Like, for real. We got to, like, buy land and invest in ownership and really, really do our thing, you know? But overall, you know, I love my family. People want to ask me, you know, about Chris Stokes. And that brings me back to the tour. After I got that call from him, he was like, yo, bro, we going on tour, bro. We getting Lambos and everything. I'm like, for real? I'm like, yeah, what? Lambos? I'm like thinking to myself, like, no, I'm not thinking to myself. I said to him, I'm like, bro, like, you don't gotta do all that. I'm like, I'd just be happy with like a million or something. You know what I mean? And so I was really, really happy for him. You know what I mean? This is something that he had been, you know, manifesting. Something that he really, really wanted. You know what I mean? Something that he continued to speak and speak and speak and speak and speak until he spoke into existence. Come on, you guys know. You guys know. You guys know how bad he wanted. And when they hit that stage, that boy was hauling ass. Bro was like, all right, we about to hit the road. I was in Vegas. I just got my taxes. Had about 10 bands in my pocket. And I was waiting on bro to hit me with, you know, flight information, hotel information, all of that. And it came to the day of the tour, and I didn't hear nothing from him. My feelings was hurt. I'm like, I'm your brother. Your big brother at that. The nigga that put you in the motherfucking group, nigga. The nigga that shows you how to tie your shoe, nigga. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, can I get that decency and respect? Fuck it if you ain't gonna call mama or dad and fly them in. At least let your bro be there, someone that been there hard in the paint with you from day one. You feel me? At least make sure I got a flight. But it's cool. I booked my own flight because your boy was zesty.
And my time is valuable.
I bought my own ticket and I flew to, what was the first city? I flew in to the first city. I pulled up. I called my brother in the city. I'm like, yo, I'm here. He's like, yo, where? I'm like, I'm at the airport. So I bought this ticket and I landed on a tour in the first city. And I pulled up. Bro sent me the room number. I mean, when I got there, the room was big. I had the high ceilings, you know, outdoor patio, you know what I'm saying? And it was dope, you know what I mean? And bro was like, yo, make yourself at home. And it was like, wow, it was a great feeling, you know what I'm saying, to be back on the road. You saw the production vans, you saw the tour buses on the street, you know what I'm saying? You knew that this shit was real. Yeah, every city we went to, my brother would not stop spending money. Like, we went to every mall. I got shoes from every mall and clothes from everywhere. I mean, we had a whole fucking bottom of the tour bus that was like filled up. I mean, it was crazy, you know. I remember Amari had his own tour bus and the other members of B2K, you know, basically had to share a tour bus. I don't know. Boog, you know, Boog and Fizz, they basically, you know, ended up going to get their own tour bus because, you know, they didn't like the company. You know, I guess they didn't like my brother or his, you know, or me, or they didn't like, you know, the camera, you know, my brother's camera crew that we had. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But they ended up getting their own tour bus, Fizz and Boog. My brother had his own tour bus, which actually he had some of the band members on his stuff as well, and they stole from him. They stole like his Louis jacket and all kind of stuff. He got like so much stuff stole from him on the tour, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? But, you know, he had a whole bottom tour bus full of stuff, you know, and shit, I did too. I'm like, I don't know where none of that shit is right now. But, and, you know, so the tour kicked off. And when it kicked off, boy, did it kick off. Man, I remember that first show. The room was in New Jersey, but the show was in New York. Because, you know what I mean? We had to like have distance from the venue and stuff like that. You know, most artists aren't usually close to the venue, especially when they're as big as B2K. That show was amazing. You know, that New York show, I mean, I remember getting there, you know, I got a chance to meet up with, you know, a chick that was really special to me, and we had a chance to have a special moment because I had a room right across the street. And, you know, man, she was pretty special to me. Man, shout out Chachi. Wow, I ain't gonna say her real name. That was crazy, you know what I mean? I just, you know, being right there on stage and, you know, seeing the first performance and the chemistry and everything, you know, because the guys haven't even been around each other, you know what I mean? And to see them come together and do their thing, you know, I mean, it was low-key like a little malfunction on the stage or whatever, but, you know, they so professional, they know how to just bring it together. You know, when they come together, it's like, you know, peanut butter and jelly. In the beginning of the tour, everything was exciting. Like, I remember the show in Pittsburgh. I remember we had colleges all around. Like, we were like right there in the heart of a college campus or something like that. Then after that, we went to New York, and New York is like B2K's other home. You know what I mean? We really had a ball. You know what I mean? Shout out to my boy Carlos Torres who came through in the clutch. You know what I'm saying? We moved around for the Millennium Tour for the second show. Wow, I was really impressed. The show was at the Madison Square Gardens. It was definitely New York because Kango Kid put up, the legendary Kango Kid from UTFO. Who sings that song, Roxanne, 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 Roxanne. Oh man, I love that song. But yeah, man, he was like Unc, man. You know, every time I seen him, he showed me love. You know, his sons, you know, showed me love. You know, and you know, shout out, man, T-Shine, and you know, man, it's crazy. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate that he passed recently, and you know what I mean. May he rest in peace, and may his name live on forever, his hip-hop legacy. When he bought me them Patrick Ewing shoes, me and my brother, we got the red Patrick Ewing shoes, and I got D-Rock from Yin Yang some too. I think I got a picture around here somewhere. I gotta find it. But, man, he was really good people, man. I think did he give me one of his Kangos too? Yep, he gave me one of his Kangos too. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. It was a really, really, really dope experience. You know, it don't get no bigger than that. It wasn't until we got to Rochester, New York, you know, that I, you know, hooked up with one of my plugs, you know, one of my, you know, people that I connected with, you know, when I was over in Columbia. They blessed me, you know, with that good Columbia. I didn't know what to do with it. You know what I mean? I'm on a tour, so, you know, I wasn't being disrespectful, but I remember Orion used to do his thing, you feel me? So I was like, when I saw bro, I was just so happy, you know what I mean? I was just trying to break bread or just I had too much. Like, what I'm about to do with it, I don't even fuck around. You know what I mean? Well, I had before, but I ain't gonna, you know what I mean? But, you know, and I don't judge nobody either, feel me? But I think that may be in the beginning of the end, because I remember my brother, us getting into it. I don't know what city that was, but I remember him telling me, well, why would you give that to Orion? And I'm like, huh? The next stop on the tour, I think, was Fairfax, Virginia. And I think we was on another college campus. That show, man, the fans was pissed off. I think the power went off, or the lights went off, or the sound went off, or some weird ass shit. It was like too hot inside the stadium, so they had to like air it out. When B2K finally came on stage, they rocked that shit. Virginia was actually pretty cool. I remember I had a little, Virginia actually even met a little chick. I actually even left, went back, had a good night, and I wonder what happened to that girl in Virginia. I wonder. I don't know, the next stop was Hampton, Virginia, but it was kind of like a blur. I don't really remember. Next stop after that, Greensboro, North Carolina. One of my friends, my homegirl, she is from France. Shout out Belinda. I put her on the Fire Remix, which is one of my brother's hit records. It made it to #2 on the Billboard charts, and I was a part of that big success. We did a big tour with FYE, in-store tour, me and my brother, you know what I'm saying, hard in the paint, in the grind, you know what I'm saying. You know, we set the table up. We set his Raspberry Fire banner up. I set the table up. We put the CDs. He sit behind the table. You know what I'm saying? I stand in the front of the store when the people walking through the mall and they walk by, stop, and I'd be like, hey, I'm like, how you doing today? Hey, do you remember that movie You Got Served? I'd be like, yeah. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, hey, well, Vic, he's also a member of the group B2K, but he's currently promoting his new solo project. Would you come on inside right now and get a free picture? Get a free picture. You know what I mean? Then I let him know. I be like, hey, if you support us today by buying the CD, you know what I'm saying, we'll also give you an autographed poster. And it worked. And we were able to chart Billboard, you know what I'm saying, with a single, and it was a major success. And shout out to all the producers that he attached to the project. I think it was Zab Judah, like Evander Holyfield. I mean, it was a lot of people. It was a lot of producers, and the Winans worked with him on the track, but he did all the leads. So that was a really, really dope record and a great time. The next city, what was the next city? The next stop on the tour was Cincinnati, Ohio, where I got a chance to meet up with a girl that I met through my boy Chance from the Stallionaires. One More Chance, my best friend, my brother. I met that young lady. We had a good time. You know, we had a good evening. I took her out. We took pictures. I brought her to the concert. We took pictures. That was a pretty cool vibe that night. I remember smoking. I remember going in. I was in Chingy's dressing room. I ain't gonna front. I was trying to fuck right there. I was trying to fuck baby right there inside the bathroom. She was like, no. But we got faded. We went back to the room, and you know, I did my stuff. I ain't gonna front. I was in love. Boy, I was in love with that pussy, boy. One night, boy, boy, I'll tell you, this tour life is crazy. Next stop on the tour was Atlanta, Georgia. That was actually pretty crazy because that's when we started shooting Love and Hip Hop. My brother was shooting his scene with his chick at the time or whatever. That's when when we started shooting Love and Hip Hop. And so, you know, I was getting ready to do all of my parts, you know what I'm saying, and get on the camera, do all my little, you know, whatever they had planned for me to shoot. You know what I mean? My brother shot his stuff. The other boys at B2K was shooting their stuff, and it never happened. But it got bad from there, you know what I mean? Because my brother was having problems with his girl. I guess he snatched her ass up, you know what I'm saying, which is something that I don't approve of because I went through the bullshit and I learned from my mistakes, you know what I'm saying? You know, like 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you know what I mean? From, you know, I couldn't believe that, you know what I mean, he was being accused of like, you know, putting his hand on a girl or whatever. But to my understanding, and I remember seeing, she was always like really, really aggressive towards him. You know what I mean? She was literally like punking him, spending all his money. He bought her a Benz, the one she's driving. I mean, he created a monster, you know what I'm saying? He shot videos on her, you know, he would shoot music. That's why he brought her on the tour originally, to promote her music. And that's what we did, you know. I called my boy Carlos, you know what I'm saying? And, we called another one of our partners and next thing you know, we started shooting. So she came out there and he was supposed to be promoting her project, but it was all about him, but he was taking an opportunity to try to promote her. And so that's how she got out there. But man, she was fucking no good for him. That girl had fucking, man, so many, that bitch had every kind of pill. You know, when he would leave off stage, they would go into like some Bobby and Whitney shit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I wasn't out there for that. I was out there to support my brother, to make sure that he was branding himself, make sure he was making his money, you know what I'm saying? And that's how we got to talking about the merchandise, which is, you know, which is what I created, you know what I'm saying? From jackets to pants to jerseys to hats, you know what I mean? The fans know about it. You know, I created all this merchandise, and it's crazy because as soon as I pulled up with the merchandise, you know what I'm saying, I'm supposed to be able to sell the shit in the venue. You know what I mean? And my brother tells me, hey bro, you know, at the beginning of at the front, like, why am I selling the merchandise outside? And I'm just thinking to myself, it wouldn't be no Millennium Tour if it wasn't for you. You bought the Millennium Tour to your members of B2K. Just like when you bought the trademark for B2K, you bought it to your members, and y'all own that shit together. It's like, you know, it's like what are you talking about? Like, I expected when I came back with the merchandise, my brother gave me the money, I went back to LA, I left the tour for some dates, you know what I mean? I made the merchandise, came back with it. I expected to have a merchandise table to be able to sell the merchandise. We end up not selling the merchandise. I ended up selling some to some of the fans. The few fans that got it, you guys, that's limited edition stuff. Nobody has it, you know what I mean? You know, I still got a few pieces, you know, but, you know, it's just really crazy, you know what I mean? It really was heartbreaking because, you know, Amari had his brother bossed up, and Ryan was walking around. He had about 50 VIP badges on his neck, walking around selling them. I guarantee you he was either, if he wasn't keeping no money, I guarantee his brother was breaking them off for all the sales. So he was able to make good money for himself. You know what I mean? I wasted money going on the tour, paying for hotels, paying for flights, to be obedient when my brother was like, yeah, let's do this. We're going to do a pop-up, go make the merchandise, bro. I went out there and made the shit, came back with it, and couldn't even sell the shit. I was fucking heartbroken. You know what I'm saying? That was the beginning of a downward spiral. What's the odds that we got to LA, you know, and Nipsey had, you know, just died? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck was that? Like, what did that mean? Like, what's the odds that we got there for, like, the biggest show on the tour, like, and Nipsey died? It was like, you know, even though we had the show, it was more of a tribute to Nipsey, and that was just really, really, really sad, man. You know, but I remember the boys did a tribute to Nip, and I think they bought OT Genesis out. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to OT Genesis. But man, when we lost Nipsey, it was just like all bad. And then right after that, what? COVID-19, the pandemic. I literally left the tour, went to Colombia, sold my bands, went to Colombia, met some artists, signed them, stayed out there for like 5 months, damn near got broke, got into a fight, lost my phone, came back, didn't have anything, was sleeping in the studio. I barely was able to, I had to beg people to get a ticket back because my brother wouldn't help me. And those people rallied together, pulled money together, helped me get a ticket. And my homeboy, Badass, rest in peace, from Dog Pound. Dog Pound Gangsters, part of the whole, you know, Snoop Dogg and, you know, Dog Pound and, you know, everything. You know, he died, and I flew back from Colombia the day that he died and literally went straight from the airport to his funeral. And, you know, it was just crazy because not only did I lose him, I came back, me and my brother was on bad terms, and I was homeless with no car, no nothing, sleeping in the studio. And this was before Chance got his show, so we was just really grinding it out. The LA show, that was crazy. When I got there, I had my boy Chance, Stallionaires Chance with me, you know, and, you know, when I move with bro, you know what I'm saying, we move a certain type of way, you know what I mean? And, you know, when I got bro with me, you know what I'm saying, I ain't gonna have nobody disrespecting him, you know what I'm saying? Usually when we pull up to places, everywhere we pull up, we don't got no problems. We walk straight in, everything's all good. Well, I had my all access pass when we put up. I ended up meeting the owner. I ended up seeing the owner, Gary Gingrich, or whatever the fuck his name is. You know what I'm saying? Owner of G Squared Events. And that motherfucker tried to take my pass, tried to take my badge from me, talking about, you need to give me that right now. You're not officially on the tour. Huh? What What are you talking about? This is my brother's tour. You're making money off of him. And you're fucking paying him fucking peanuts, motherfucker. Fuck is you talking about? You know what I mean? So I'm just thinking to myself, like, who is this dude? Like, how dare you disrespect me in front of my nigga Chance? So instead of, you know what I mean, instead of like making the issue or anything like that, I went ahead and gave him the pass. Once I ended up getting up in there, you know, it was a lot of politics and shit like that. A lot of politics, you know what I mean? Everybody was like flocking to Omarion. You know, Amari had that shit on lock. You know what I mean? LA was really, really dope. I got a chance to, you know, see a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time, but I don't know, it was weird because of that experience that I had with the owner of G Squared Events. It's crazy because when we was in Atlanta, we went to D-Rock's house. D-Rock from Yin Yang Twins. You know, at the beginning of the tour, we really clicked up, me and D-Rock. You know what I mean? We became damn near like best friends, you know what I'm saying? Like talking and hanging out every day, smoking weed and shit, you know what I mean? I remember the cameraman and staff and the crew from Love and Hip Hop was at my brother's room. It was like, had cameras and everything. It was like a full production. I'm like, oh, snap, you feel me? And so come to find out, you know, they were shooting all the members of B2K, you know what I mean? And so they had me sign some documents and stuff like that because I guess I was gonna be appearing in some of the scenes or whatever, you know what I mean? And that's crazy because I had already signed some paperwork and was talking to Lisa King, you know what I mean, originally to be on Love and Hip Hop, you know, about my own story or whatever. Atlanta was crazy though. You know, I remember, you know, yeah, like I said, we started, you know, I mean, man, this tour is crazy, man. I mean, these dates, everything runs together so crazy, you know. I remember Gary Gingrich, the owner of G Squared Events, he like jumped up in my face and was like hella aggressive. And like, I don't know why he got in my face or why people like, it was made to seem like I got in his face or whatever, but he actually got in my face. And you know, I probably called him a bitch ass nigga or some shit like that. You know what I mean? That's not the type of person that I am. I really am not like that. But if a person like don't know me or I feel disrespected, I might say something like that out of defense just because I'm upset. You know what I mean? And I didn't disrespect that man. I didn't. And somebody was in his ear clearly or whatever, you know? So, you know, for him to just basically make me feel uncomfortable, like I can't be on the tour or like I was a problem or whatever, I just don't know where on the tour did I become a problem. Because I always stayed on my own shit. I moved around the tour. I did my own thing. You know what I mean? You know, I'm a social butterfly. You know what I mean? I network with everybody, you know? So, I don't know. That tour, I don't know, the tour started to get weird as fuck. You know what I mean? And I just remember, you know, for at least 3 cities, you know, I literally, when we got to the city, I literally stayed outside the venue or like, I stayed like on the tour bus or like at the hotel room because there's no reason for me going to the venue because, you know, I was basically not wanted there, you know what I mean? And I just wonder at what point, you know, what happened and who started hating them. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the motherfucker that was rolling around with all the drugs. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it is what it is. That was definitely like a tour from hell. When B2K first did their photo shoot, you know what I'm saying, the official promo shoot for the tour, like my brother, like after the shoot, he hit me, you know, from a secret location, and he was like, bro. I'm like, what? And he like, bro, you'll never guess. You'll never guess who showed up with our outfits and with our clothes for the photo shoot. And I was like, who? And he was like, Chris Stokes. And I was like, never. You feel me? And I was just like, oh my God, that nigga booked, them niggas, them niggas didn't tell him? Like what? Following that, I was talking, you know, to my brother, telling him about, you know, some opportunities, and this nigga made a video and blamed it on me. He made the video. I did not force him to make the video. He made the video from his own phone. and was like, yo, Ricky Rowe, call Lifetime. And I'm like, the fuck? Nigga, why you throw me under the bus? Nigga, all right, we got a situation with Lifetime, but like, what? You know what I mean? And then it just like went all crazy. He's like, Amari, I'll do the tour, Amari, if you want to do it, but I'm not doing it if Chris Stokes is on it. And I'm just like, man, the fuck? Chris Stokes is back involved. Emotions are stirring. You know, like, this shit is weird as fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I just easily got thrown under the bus to look like the bad guy. That's what happened. My brother did that shit to me, but we made a pact a long time ago when we was kids, and I don't know if he remembers, but we made a pact that, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, you do what you gotta do. Once you get to where you gotta go, you feel me? Just reach back and just pull me in. You feel me? Just, you know what I mean? Like, basically, you know, I'm always gonna make you the good guy. I'll be the bad guy. You feel me? And that shit went too far to where I took the blame for way too much shit that I really had nothing to do
with. Beats made by Fresh.
What am I? Do you know me? Do you know that bed is my favorite place?
I got a fork in the road. Which way should I choose?
Took the vibe at a place. We've got something. We've got chemistry.
I got these haters upset, cause I'm getting money. She wants some sex, cause I'm getting money. It's time to flex, cause I'm getting money. What I'ma do next? I'ma go get some money.
End of the tour was crazy. You know what I mean? It was like, shit was all bad. You know, the $7,000 my brother promised to give me, he didn't give it to me. I had a chick I was dating at the time in San Diego, and I flew back to San Diego to be with her, and I didn't have no bread coming off that tour. They looking at me like, you're the brother of the guy who had the big tour. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, my money was running very, very, very low, and you know, that affected the relationship. And I remember my brother calling me like, yo, I need you to go and pick up all my stuff from the Hollywood Hills from, you know, the girl that he had gotten into it with. I rented a truck. He sent me the money. I rented a truck. I went to her house in Hollywood Hills to get his stuff, and he was telling me all the stuff that was missing. A laptop, a iPad, his Louis Vuitton shoes, and all this type of stuff. You know, he had just had a birthday party, and I don't know why, but he told me he don't want me coming to his birthday party. That was the beginning of some weird shit. So why would you tell me you don't want me to come to your birthday party, but then turn around and ask me as your brother to go pick up your stuff? As a brother, I did that. I got his stuff, I brought it to Vegas, and, you know, he needed to get a spot now. So, you know, I helped him with the process. He got the spot, and then he just started acting weird. Wouldn't invite me to the spot, you know what I mean? And then I just come to find out, he just started fucking all the little bitches that I knew, and just like every little bitch in the city. Like, he went crazy with his money, like super crazy with his money. You know, I came off the tour, you know what I mean? And, you know, the spot I had, I let it go when I went on the tour. So, you know, I needed a place to stay, you know what I mean? And, you know, bro got his bread. He wanted to enjoy his bread, get his own spot. I wasn't trying to move in and be his roommate. I was just trying to get the bread that he said he's gonna give me and get my own spot, but it didn't even happen like that. I ended up at some spot called, like, I don't know if it was the Seagull Suites or some shit. The only thing I could afford, it was like $300 for the week and like $300 deposit or something. Shit was crazy. I didn't even want to pay the $300 deposit. I was like, man, I was like down on my luck. And man, shit just got crazy. I remember my bro hit me and was like, I hit him like, yo, what's up, bro? And he's like, yeah, I'm over here. He was over here with this little DJ chick, and he didn't want to be there, so he's like, what's good? He's like, man, you got some chicks? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yo, meet us at the casino. So I tell bro, I'm like, yo, meet me at Sam's Town, I think it was. So we went to the casino, and I had the girls come through, and he, you know what I'm saying, and he slid them both some money. You know what I'm saying, to gamble and shit, and he didn't give me nothing. And I didn't ask him for nothing. I never asked my brother for no money. That's my little brother. What I look like asking him for money? You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know, that shit hurt my feelings like a motherfucker. I'm like, damn, you get these bitches some money to gamble, you know what I mean? So they don't even know my brother. So he help them play, give them the money, help them play. They get up both a couple hundred apiece. So I pressed both of them like, yo, I'm gonna need like 50 from you, like 50 from you. I wasn't trying to fill their pockets, but I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even have this if it wasn't for my brother. You know what I mean? You wouldn't have this. And so, you know, it's like, man, that was the beginning of the end right there. You know what I'm saying? My brother did some weird ass shit. He got mad that I told the chicks to give me some money. He told them, no, don't give my brother nothing. And then I'm like, man, what are you talking about? And then he walked off. And then I walked off behind him, and then he said something to a casino employee, like something like call security or something, some old superstar Hollywood shit. And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck is you doing? And then I don't know, I think, then I, you know what I mean? And I don't know if I grabbed him by his shirt or something, I don't know. But he made a big ass scene, and I remember running out of that casino, scared for my life, cause I don't know if, you know, I was just, I don't know if I had a warrant, traffic warrant or something like that. But I ran, and that was the last time I seen my brother and we took a picture together. It's been 3 years since I seen my brother, and before that, it was 7 years. You know? I feel like I don't even know him anymore, but I love him with all my heart. I really didn't want to talk about this. I didn't really want to talk about any of this. Orion my boy, but man, he showed ghosted me, man, once shit got weird on the tour. And everybody started acting weird too. I never seen a bunch of fake people in my life. Like, I keep it real, I keep it 100. I ain't no tattletale, I ain't no snitch. But, you know, one thing I'm gonna say is I'm a loyal person to whoever I'm dealing with. And it's all about making money with me. So if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Don't call me if you ain't about no money. You know, straight up. You know what I'm saying? You know. And the motherfucker that they should have been looking at was the motherfucker Pretty Ricky's tour bus. The motherfucker's Pretty Ricky's tour bus driver. I mean, y'all, this tour was huge. B2K, Mario, Bobby Valentino, Chingy, Yin Yang Twins. How can I forget Lloyd? You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite artists. I mean, that tour was definitely one for the culture. I was definitely happy to be a part. You know what I'm saying? Even if I had to spend my own money to be there, it was a great experience. I just wanted to see my brother live out his dreams, be there to support him. Since, you know, my mom's not into industry stuff, you know, my dad's not either. But it was cool that my dad was able to come out. Cool my mom was able to come out. You know, the whole family, my grandma. You know, I really had a great experience overall. And, you know, I made a lot of great relationships that I wish I would have been able to continue, but I believe they were told not to fuck with your boy. So, you know, I'm solid. I'm the one to fuck with. You know, tap in with me. You know, I keep it 100. I love everybody. You know, I've been through some things in my life, but one thing I do is I pay it forward. You know, if somebody need me, a friend need me, I'm there. I'll give you a shirt, I'll give you a jacket off my back. You know, I mean, this is my POV, and the tour was so huge. Yo, Dad. Yo, drop the bass line. This is my motherfucking story. My point of view of the Millennium Tour. After so many years ago, shutting down TUG Entertainment, you know, the Ultimate Group, you know, it really is a blessing to be able to work with my partners to bring it back to the fans, to give them good R&B music again. Shout out to my partner, Show Off, Mr. Eric Cunningham, the new owner, founder and chairman of the Ultimate Group. And I believe that we can have love for each other. I believe that we don't have to fight. I believe that we could work together and build a better future for your kids and his kids and my nieces and my nephews, you know? So But yeah, you know, Millennium Tour was very dark. It's still dark. And, you know, I don't know. Shout out to Marion, though. I really, you know, from one Scorpio to another, I really do respect his decision, you know, that he made to move forward, you know, from the group. But I don't agree with, you know, the comments that were made, you know, in his verses. But hey, you know, that's what he chose for himself. But I think he's very talented, and you know, I really respect him as an artist.
Elite mob.
C-Star.
Niggas are down for the fame. Broke as hell just trying to get a name.
Mafiosa.
He's getting rich, thoughts in my brain.
I got these haters upset,
Got 'em upset.
cause I'm getting money.
I'm getting money.
She wants some sex, cause I'm getting money.
I'm getting money.
It's time to flex,
Flex.
cause I'm getting money.
I'm getting money.
What I'ma do next?
What I'ma do?
Yeah, and shout out to Marion and his new movie, Omega. Without me pushing my brother and being the driving force behind him, y'all wouldn't have had no Millennium Tour. Y'all wouldn't have had no B2K. If it wasn't for me. I am the reason why. So, respect me when you see me. That's my true story. This is just my POV of the Millennium Tour. Since I was there, this is what I seen with my own eyes. The dark side of the Millennium Tour.